Are you going through a season where you are feeling just a little bit distracted? You're feeling a little bit of a disconnection between you and God? That's exactly how I was feeling a couple of weeks ago. So I've challenged myself to do the Holy 40 challenge, and I am now 2 weeks into that challenge, and I thought I would share with you how it's going. Got to be honest, already I can actually already feel changes coming, which have been really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. So what is Holy 40? Well, Holy 40 is about challenging yourself to make small little changes within your life which will help you draw closer to God. So for me, some of the challenges that I have set up for myself was to stop aimlessly scrolling. I was really bad for I could sit on TikTok for hours and hours and hours just swiping away that algorithm. So I set myself the challenge to stop that, to consume Christian content. So that meant music in the car, podcasts, anything I was watching on YouTube, TV shows, everything that I have been consuming, even down to reading, has all been a Christian based content. The first thing is I have been eating healthier and doing more to move my body. This has probably been quite one of the biggest outward changes that I have seen within myself in the past 2 weeks. The next thing that I challenged myself was every day I do 30 minutes Bible study time and 15 minutes journaling. I have actually put these two together, so it's not just reading my Bible and then doing a little journaling. That, to be honest, is what I was doing. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually picking a part of the Bible, and my Bible came with a 40-day reading plan, so that was quite lucky. I've just followed that. And what I've been doing is I'm really looking at every single word, every single sentence I am breaking down. I'm looking at different translations. I'm asking myself questions of how does this relate to me, this situation that I've got going on, how are these connected, and I'm really looking inwards at myself, and it's amazing how much enlightening there actually is when you deeply read the passages and the words as opposed to what I was just doing. That's me. Right, I've read that story, that's me read another chapter, that's me good. Trust me, when you actually start doing more, you start receiving more. Final thing, a 30-minute prayer walk. So that's when I go out the house on my own, no kids, no dogs, no headphones, no distractions, and I just walk now with sometimes just complete silence. And all that sounds, that's really easy. That don't make much difference. But these small little changes have made such a massive ripple effect in my everyday life. What I thought would have been the hardest challenge was going to be the stop the aimless scrolling. I felt such a conviction just before I started this challenge on the amount of time I'm spending just swipe, that I ended up deleting the app. I just thought I am wasting so much time, so much energy, and I don't need it. So stopping aimlessly scrolling actually ended up in me being convicted to completely delete the app. Because before, if you locked me in a room with a phone, I could easily sit and spend 6, 8 or even 10 hours just sitting on TikTok. Then I would have the cheek to always say, I don't have time to read my Bible tonight. I don't have time to do that workout. I don't have time to go another walk. But yeah, I had time to go on my phone an hour before bed when I could have been reading the Bible. I had time at dinner to go on my phone when I could have been having more time with the kids. And I'm not proud to admit that, but this journey is about me being completely honest. And that is the truth. And I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there, if they were to be truly honest with themselves, that's the way they are too. And that has had such a big impact on my entire family actually, because I remember telling my husband I've deleted it, and he laughed at me and went, I will see how long that lasts. And every night before I'd go to bed, I'd be quite proud of myself, like, day 1, no, that's me done it. Day 2, and I remember day 5, he was quite taken aback. He's like, you've actually deleted that? And I was like, yep. And he must have been noticing the changes in me being more present with him, the family, the housework, everything. That he then deleted it, which I was so shocked at, because I used to always joke with my husband that he was addicted to social media, and he's just deleted it off his phone, and it's done wonders for our relationship. We're actually doing things together. Sometimes it might just be putting the laundry away together, and that tiny little thing, we would have been doing that together with him on his phone and me on my phone. Now we're actually doing things and talking like a normal married couple. Just that at night time, we would be in bed, I would be on my phone, he would be on his side of the bed on his phone. Now we're actually reading the Bible together at night, talking about the Bible together at night. He'll come in and say, oh, I read this today, and we talk about it, and vice versa, which is just madness. If you told me 2 weeks ago we would both have detoxed from social media and be reading the Bible in bed instead of being on social media, I would have said absolutely not. We always thought we just didn't have the time, but the truth is we did. It was just something else in our life was stealing our time, and that's something I would ask everybody to be so careful of. If you're sitting here saying, I don't have time to do this, actually look at where your time's going and see what is the time thief in your life, because I'm sure there'll be something. So one of the other changes I've been doing is I've been eating healthier, no takeaways. I've been doing workouts. I've stopped the fizzy juice, and I am now drinking so much more water. And in 2 weeks, I have actually lost 3 pounds in weight. But I've not done anything drastic. I'm not calorie counting. I'm not on a diet plan. All I've done is cut out the crap, move my body, and drinking more water to make my body healthier. And that is actually having an outward appearance change in my life, which is making me feel that little bit more confident and that little bit more happier. This proves inward discipline does cause outward fruit, which is visible to the rest of the world, and I'm sure that could be true for so many different things. I think this one might have actually been the trickiest, and this was the only consuming Christian content. I'm quite a binge watcher with TV programmes. I'm the type of person that will sit on the couch and watch 5 hours of a full season. If I find a series I like, I am watching that full season in one night. So it was quite a change for me not to be watching The Real Housewives. What I found is the more I watch Christian content, it's giving me this hunger for more. The more podcasts I find, the more I want to go look for more. The more music I listen to, the more I want to go find more Christian music. It's really gave me this absolute thirst for God and wanting to to consume more to bring me closer to God, as opposed to when I do binge watch a TV series where it almost turns that first off. It's satisfying something else so that I'm no longer thirsting for the Lord. It's amazing how much Christian content there actually is out there. I have found some fantastic books. I have found so much incredible music. I've even found a workout channel on YouTube which is workouts to Christian worship music, and the girl that does it's absolutely fantastic. So I have been doing that most days as well. The thing about what I find is when I'm doing the Christian workout, the amount of joy I feel afterwards, I don't feel drained or tired or feel like I want to just lie on the couch like I normally would. The other day I was doing one during the day and I ended up going to run afterwards because I still had all this much joy and all this energy, and I had to keep going and burn it off. So I ended up going out a run. I enjoyed doing the Holy 40, but I'm going to be honest, it hasn't been this perfect 2 weeks. I had in my own life just this little bit of conflict with someone else. I don't really know what's happening, to be really honest. But there's just been a little bit of hurt towards myself, and my flesh, my emotional self, all I want to do is just remove myself from the situation and let go of that person, and just run away, because that's how old me would have dealt with any sort of situation. If someone hurts me, I do just retreat. What I've learned to do is I have given it to God. I have prayed over it. I have put it in a little box and lifted it up to God. And I'm actually finding a lot of strength when I'm around this person of the fear and the dread is there. And I will say a prayer and I'll say, God, I have given this to you. It's not my worry. It's not my anxiety. This is yours and I trust you. And it lightens the load. It really does. Whenever I am in this situation with the person, I feel okay. I feel looked after, and it always seems to be everything's okay. But some funny little things have been happening. So Genesis, everybody's read Genesis from the were kids. It's one of the most simplest stories in the Bible that I've never really had any sort of emotional connection to. But last week I read Genesis and I ended up in absolute tears. Like, I was crying to my husband over Genesis. He was looking at me thinking, what has happened to you? Because the tears just kept coming. It's the message of God took our world that was absolute nothingness there. Nothing had been created, and he took that and he spoke and he created the most beautiful, perfect world with such ease. And it kind of made me think that we can go to God in any way. Sometimes we always think, I'm not worthy, or I need to do better, or I need to present myself a certain way. But it doesn't matter what way you are, how empty you feel, or how broken you feel. All God will do is just pick you up and speak over you, and he can make you a new creation. So that had me in real tears, but he just loves us and he just accepts us as who we are. Then the next day, we go to church. Pastor stands up in the part of the Bible which I had read and had me sobbing. Very first words out of his mouth, me and my husband looked at each other and were thinking, it's a little bit of a coincidence, and we did. We just put it down to a coincidence because that can happen quite often. That particular Sunday there was two services at our church. There was a morning service and there was also the evening service. I don't normally go to the evening services, but this week we had babysitters, so we thought we would go along. In the time between the two church services, I did my Bible and journaling time, and I was reading Moses. And get in the car, drive all the way over. Me and my husband were just chatting about Moses. go into church. The service at night in my church is a little bit more of a worship set. So there was quite a lot of worship, but then there was a guest pastor from England who was up. So she got up and she spoke the word, the exact same words that I just read an hour before. And it took me back a little bit. I was like, what are the odds of one day, 2 services, and the 2 parts of the Bible which I had read immediately before each service was what was preached on? It kind of got me like, okay, is he listening? Because that's a little bit of a coincidence, and that was what my prayers to God had been, was, are you still hearing me? And that's why I started to do the Holy 40, because I felt as though me and God weren't talking and listening. And I felt, God's always there, God's always loving you, but I had to do something on my part to bring that relationship closer again. And then after she had spoken, she actually came up to me and she said that she wanted to pray for me. There was quite a lot of people at the church, so I was a little bit taken back. It wasn't only me, there was a few other people. And she said to me that I have to stop circling. I have to stop avoiding. Now that's something I've been doing, and this is what's kind of leading me to start doing these videos. She said, he's gone before you, he has you, and you've just to go. And she said some other things, and there was one of those moments of, when I was talking to my husband in the car, did you have a listening device on the back? Because so much of what she said was every worry I've had, every worry I've brought to God. And since I've started Holy 40, it was as if she was answering it, and she just gave me this biggest hug, and I broke down in tears, absolute tears. And I don't cry. Even my husband's looking at me like, you never even cried when we had kids. And I was crying like a baby. I felt so seen, and I just felt his love, and I felt the Holy Spirit wash over me. And I was like, okay, he's got me. He knows, he's hearing me. One of the other changes that's happened has been at church as well. Now I do kids ministry. I've always just helped out. I love it, and really actually do. For someone that I wouldn't say I was much of a child person, I do actually like the kids church. We've got a great little group of kids, so I've been asked to step into a leadership role within the church. So I'll be leading kids ministry, which came as a little bit of a, oh okay, shock, but I feel it's where I'm supposed to be, and I'm getting set up for something, don't know what, because God doesn't tell us the full picture, but I'm definitely feeling there's something brewing. I'm only 14 days into Holy 40. I'm not there if we ever all do fully get there. I'm noticing changes. I'm noticing changes in me, in my life, my kids' lives, my husband's life, my church life. It's just, the second you stop, slow down, then you start hearing God more. But if you're living a life of distraction and you're always going, you're not going to hear him the same. I removed distraction from my life. I have created so much more space for God to come in and sit with me. If you were the same as me, that you felt distracted, felt spiritually empty, the answer isn't you need to do more. Maybe the answer is you need to remove something and make space. And we're only 2 weeks in, so I will give you guys an update next week. But if you want to start your own Holy 40 challenge, I highly recommend it.